Alright, so hi everyone. We have here a very simple scene, and what I'd like today to show you is well, a couple of things, a number of things, but I want to start by just demonstrating for you the methods and the various bits and pieces that you need to get this file up to the master and rendering, knowing that it's going to work for you. And there's a few steps. So it's going to be about the master control, the master console, sorry, about uploading your projects and saving your global render settings, and about connecting the VPN network, using the Anytime Mobility Client, and copying your files up to the render file server. So there's a few little steps there. Let me just see one thing. Let's bring up my notes. Okay, so the first thing is setting up a project. Now, in front of me here, I've set up a quick project. I've got it's what I actually demonstrated in class the other day. I've got a simple moon object with a texture on it, and I've got a little rocket that I have made. This is what this is what it looks like in the render view. Might just bring that down a little bit, get it centered. There we go, something like that. All right, so I'm going to render just off the render cam. Actually, no, I'm going to set up an extra camera as well in this scene. So let me go, so I can go through how to set up the correct camera. So I'm going to go cameras, create camera. The camera, I'm just going to scale it up so I can see it properly. W to move it up. And let's bring it back a bit. And then we can, let's go have a little look through that camera. We'll call it, it's called camera 1, and there we go. There is our camera. Let's get it set. Something like that. And let's go to our render view and see if we can switch over to that. There we go. Nice. I'll just check my resolution gate over here. Where's my resolution gate? Here. Yeah, it's sitting a bit high. Let's make that down a bit. Come over like so. And that is looking like, that's looking pretty good to me. Alright, so that's what that looks like here. We've got, notice that we've got I've got the sky dome turned off. I've done that by let me just jump out to my perspective view. I've done that by turning the camera to 0, the visibility camera to 0 here. So I'm just using the light. Obviously, if I turned it to 1, we'd see the entire background there. I've got this moon object here, and that's got a texture on it. And I want to jump across to that texture and show you that the texture is relative to my project directory. So if I go into my project, if I go set project here, I've got my project set to the master tester. I go set again. It doesn't really matter, but Maya now knows that this project is inside the master tester. Source images, moon, etc., etc. That's the name of the file. So that's really important, that none of my files, one of the most important thing, is that when you send a set of files up to, or a project up to the render server, that the files are all contained within the project. So this is one that is contained within the project. You'll see here, if I click on the sky dome light, the Arnold sky dome light, that in the color attribute, I've got this file, and if I click on the little black arrow there, when I come to this image, you can see actually I've got, in my view, like it's the directory set correctly, but I did notice straight away, and this is something you need to check yourself. See that in the file name there are spaces and some extra characters. I don't think that's very good at all. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to check this and go and look for that file and change that back over to this one here. Let me just try that and Hopefully it's not going to make a second one. No, it's not. Let's see. There we go. That to me is much better. I'm actually going to go to my project directory and get rid of those files. I don't know why I've got copies of them up there. So in my master tester project window, in my source images, you can see I've got these files with these spaces. That's terrible. I would get rid of those. Get rid of those too, in fact. So step one is making sure that all your files that you're referencing inside your scene are placed within your project window. That's the first thing. The next thing is to set up your global renders. So let's go and set those up. I'm going to go to my render settings and bring them over here so we can have a look at them together. In the common tab, I'm going to set, I'd like my my folders to all go into, I'd like them, my scene files, the still images that are going to be made, to all go into a folder. Now, so I'll start by, let's delete this and right click. So I'll go insert scene name, and then I'll go /, and then I'll go insert, I don't think I need the camera name, I'll just go insert, render layer, and then I'll type in moon. I've got a few of these going, so I might actually just choose something else. I'll just go planet. And if I hit return here, up here, this is the really helpful thing. You'll see that I get a little file name and path. So it's going to make this folder called muster_demo_video, and inside that it's going to create my file names. Now at the moment I've only got one file name going out, and so I'm just going to start with that, and then in another video I'm going to do the render passes that I did with you in class. So the next thing is that I want to change my image file format to TIFFs. You can choose what you like. EXRs are good as well, they work just as well. Excuse me. Down here I want to get out a number of frames. Now I've got 120 set in my time slider at the moment, so I'll stick with that. So here, my preference is name.the number of the file number plus the extension. So you can see up here it changes to master layer planet.0001.tiff. Now the 0001 is set by this frame padding. Okay, so the frame range is going to be 1 to 120, like so, and I am going to set my renderable camera to camera 1. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to go and change the name of that camera. So I'm going to select camera 1 here, go to camera 1, and go render cam on the camera 1 node attribute, which will change the shape, those two nodes to render cam and render cam shape. So that means that down in the renderable camera now I can choose render cam. There we go. And that's the only camera that I've got in the renderable camera section here. So that's the one that the muster console will pick up. I've got my alpha channel mask ticked, so I can still drop images behind this particular scene, this rocket and this moon. And I think we're all good there. The Arnold render settings, I'm just going to leave those for now. They're very low. I'll talk about those in another video. The AOVs we're going to leave for now as well. So we're only just doing how to get up a simple single pass video and submit it as a job on the muster render farm. Alright, so I'm going to close that. That's good, that's my render settings set. Now I want to save those into my file, so I'll go File Save, like so. And in this file here, muster_demo_video.myascii is the settings for this particular scene all ready to go. I'll quickly just double check my render view. So I'll bring it up. I'll make sure that this is set to camera shape 1 and go stop and start again. There we go. That's looking pretty good to me. I think we're all good to go. So I can see that my render times are relatively short, like 5 seconds or so. And the one thing I suppose I didn't set in the render settings, let's have a look at that again, was the size. So here I've just for speed, I'm going to set it to 960 by 540. So that's us done. We are now ready to copy our file up to the render farm. The next step is to connect from your machine to the university. You need to establish, establish a VPN or a virtual private network. And to do that, you need to go to get more information on downloading the client. I like accessing the servers from home, UNSW Art and Design. Such a terrible typo. Alright, and then I'll click this. This is the servers, UNSW Art Design. This is where you can find the links to the VPN. This is the PDF, and it's got a link to the VPN. This software here, the Cisco AnyConnect Secure Mobility Client. Right, this is what you need. The other thing to know, actually, in here, is for the render files and the classwork server as well, if you're using that. When you first log in, it's going to ask for your login details. Well, I'll get to this in a second. Actually, let me just continue. So I have the Cisco VPN client installed on my machine. I'm going to do this. It's going to ask me for my password, which I will type in. I go OK. It goes accept our conditions. Oops, and there we go. So now I have my VPN connection to the server. The next thing then is I actually need to connect to the place where I'm going to upload this my project. So my project is, my entire project window is this here, this master tester. So I want to copy that entire folder with all its scenes and its source images, they're the most important things, up to the master, the render files. Now the address for this, the address for connection is go connect to server. You'll have to look up the how to connect on a PC if you're working on a PC. render1-files.artdesign.unsw.edu.au. Once you have that address in there, it's not a bad idea to add the plus button down here to add it down here, so that you can quickly access it. So if I've recently been to classwork, I can't remember, I've got it set here, and I can go connect. That will connect me to a partition called render1, and inside render1 you'll find a million users. Well, not a million, but you'll find a lot of users, and you've got to search for your user. Now I found that the easiest way to do this is, one, you could label it with your color, so that I'm a green. I've labeled it. The other way is if you just click in and go like this. What happened there? If you click and go in like this, should take you straight up to. You should be able to find your user a little bit more easily. That's what I've been finding anyway, for some strange reason that I haven't been able to quickly locate it this way, but I have this way. I'm just going to make this old so it doesn't get in our way. And I'm going to now copy up. So I've just been testing with that. So I'm now going to copy up this file from my local hard drive to my master. So let me bring this over here so you can see what's going on. and you can see really clearly what I'm doing. Let's not worry about that folder for a minute, that's old. And bring this one up over here. I'll just check that I haven't got any extra images in here that I don't need. I'll just make sure that, oh, there is a little bit. I'll just get rid of that, and I'll get rid of all my temp folders. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to take the master tester folder and copy it up there, and you'll see it's going to take a few minutes to copy up. It shouldn't take 15 minutes. It should take I don't think it should take 14 minutes either. Yeah, that's more like it. I'm on a faster connection here, my house. So while that's copying up, I am now going to show you where you go to establish an account for yourselves to operate the master console. So that will be at Virtual Vertex or vvertex.com up here. In here, you need to go to Downloads, Master All Versions, version 9, and then click on Downloads for Master version 9, and here there's a list, and actually the list that we're the product that we're looking for is this one here. It's they've just put out another one. For now, it's the Master 9.0.14.11541. I haven't tested this yet, so I don't know if it'll work. It might. You could try it if you like. I didn't realize they've only just put this out as of this video like 6 days ago, it seems. So I'm using this one here, 9.0.14.11511541. All right. So before you are able to download this, and by the way, then you need to choose, once you've clicked the link, you need to choose your OS. I'm on OS X. But before you do this, you will need to make an account. So you'll need to go here and create an account for yourself, which doesn't cost you anything, and then they'll send you an email to verify that account, and then you can go ahead and download it and install the software. Once you have it installed, you can then start up Muster. Now it's actually this is just a folder called Muster 9. Inside it is mconsole. So if I go mconsole, it'll fire up this software. And once we have it fired up, this is what we come to. So I'll go connect, and in here now the details for this are in the render farm guide. There are details for connecting to the server and uploading your files, and for connecting to the muster, and you need to make sure you put these details in. So they are render1.artdesign. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Yes, I can. So it's render1.artdesign.unsw.edu.au. The TCP port is 9881, and then your ZID and your password. Okay, and then you can go connect, and you should see this happening. If you've connected successfully, you'll start to see that it's drawing up all the windows and getting the details of the current jobs and what machines are available for you to use, etc., etc. So let me just check, while that's starting up, I'm just going to check in the background on the Finder here. I've still got a couple of minutes to go for my folder to pass up. So that's okay. Alrighty, you should be presented with something like this once you open the mconsole up, and we're going to be, well, over here is the machines that are available for use. Down here is the actual queue where you can find your jobs. And to the right here, this is the to the right here, this is the most important part. This is the submission pane. And there are a few settings that we need to make in here for, there's a few settings to make in here for a job to be submitted. So let me just, first of all, just stop that from bouncing because that's irritating. And let's give the muster, this is not your project name, this is the muster job name. Give it something like Jamil, that's my name, underscore Z224945 underscore. I'll just give it something that I can recognize. So that's a name for this this job. In here, you will see that there are a bunch of different, I call them engines. Probably if you're coming from Maya and you're working with Arnold, the Maya Arnold will be the correct one for you. And I guess most of you will be using that actually, Maya Arnold. So I've got Arnold Lights and Arnold Shaders, and I'm using Maya, so that makes sense, right? The next thing is down here, the packet size, I'll just point out, is the number of frames that is sent to each machine. So each machine in this current job that I'm sending is going to get 4 frames, which is okay. This next section, the Maya Arnold section, this is the important part of this section here, is the scene file name. So let me just double check that that thing is copied up first. Yes, it all seems to be there. You remember that I had my file saved, my scene saved, so let's check that that scene is there. It is master demo video. I'm not seeing it. 1 second. Let's go back across to here and double check that I've got things in the right place. So on my local hard drive, we're looking here. We are looking for master demo video. There it is. And in here, it does not seem. Oh, that's in the old one. That's why. Just going to make sure you don't get confused. Master demo video. That's the one we're looking for. Okay, cool. So what we do now is in the Maya scene file location, press this little button here. Not immediately obvious, I must say, and come up make sure you come up into your student ID like so, and find your file. That's the really important thing. So scenes, and find that file, master demo video. That's this one, and go open. And as soon as you do that, you'll notice that it populates this with the directory address to your scene file, and the directory address in the project directory to your directory. And you need to check that they are correct. And the important thing is that they say /temp/render1. That is the name of the partition that we're rendering, copying the files to, and finding the scene file from. So you've got to make sure that this doesn't say, you know, something like volumes/users/your name and some local directory root that you've checked. When you've clicked this button here, you must check that it is going to render 1. That is the really super most critical thing that's going on here. All right, so let me just select that once more. Master demo, go open, it's redone it. So this is all good. Now we've set the frames in the global renders, but for some reason it doesn't pick them up. So I'm going to set 120 here, 1 to 120, which is correct. And remember, we set the frame padding in the global renders. Let me bring this up again so we can see. We set the frame padding to 4, and we set the end frame, start and end frames to 120. It won't pick them up, so you just need to add them in here yourself. So 1 to 120, and here I put in 4. That's what I like personally. Seems to accommodate most of the jobs that I do, number-wise, without running out of frames. And then that's it. that's the end of that. And if everything is good, I just double check everything again once more. Everything's all right, and then I go submit down the bottom. And let me go submit. We'll start to see some things happening over the left here, which is these are the machines that are suddenly coming up into life at UNSW, and they are processing my job. And if I look down here, you'll see that I have, where am I? Where is it? There, I think it's this one here, render cam. There it is. This job here, entire farm. Today's date. Oh, is that today's date? Oh, maybe it's not this one. Hold on. Got to find one, as I've got a few jobs going here. Sorry. Let me see. We're looking for. Right, it should be here somewhere, and we're looking for the 1st of the 8th, the 1st of the 7th. There it is. 1st of the 7th. This one here. There. No, not that one. Well, it'll be here somewhere. I thought I did just see it. So it also tells you the, so up here, the completed, the total time, the processing time, and the submission time. So actually we're looking for one that was submitted about 1 o'clock. This must be it here. There it is. All right. No, that's Karen. Well, let me instead, let's go to, I'll show you this. We'll go to here, and in the master tester folder on in here, you'll see that I've got this new folder, because actually the job's already completed in the time that it has taken me to try and find it in the job view. I've got the master underscore demo underscore video, and then I've got the layer, which is master layer, and I've got the file name, planet, and then the file number. So you can see that it's all here, and there's a preview of it there. So if I go and grab this folder, go copy, and go along to here. I'm going to go paste this into my After Effects projects footages folder, and I'm going to go paste. That's to bring these files down, and I'll show you the little next step, just to bring the files into After Effects and start working with them. So I'm going to go, I've got an After Effects project going. Let me go back to my project view. I've got it from my folder, so I might just keep using that. Go Command I or double click in here, and I'm starting to keep things in my directory, so I've got it in here, and we'll click on master demo video, and here I'm going to select the first file, and it'll go, oh, it's a TIFF sequence. Alright, now I've checked already that there's 120 files in there. Sorry if you may not have noticed, but down here it says sorry, let me go to here. Down inside, once if I click on this folder here, you can see down the bottom it says 120 items. So I know I've got all my 120 scene files. If I go in here, click the first one, it brings in a TIFF sequence, and I open it. The only thing I suppose that really we need to check is that it's coming in at the right frame rate. So this interpretation, 30 frames per second, is a default of After Effects, and you can go and change that by, well, you can change it for this particular file by going File, Interpret Footage, Main, and just setting that frame rate there, 25 or 24, whatever you've worked out, and that will change that just there. Or the other thing is you can go Preferences, General, actually it's Import. I'll just wait till it brings up, and the sequence footage, change it here. This will change it for every other future occurrence, or 24 if you're working at 24. So I'll just go OK to that. All right, so I've got my footage in, and if I drag that footage onto the new comp button, it'll make a composition with just that footage, and you'll see that if I hit the transparency overlay that I've got some transparency there, so I can drop stuff behind it. And if I go Control 0 on